Hmm. So I had to ask myself, should Deontay Wilder box again? Yet again, why would I say no? But yet again, why would I say yes? Technically, I have no idea. I really have no idea. Because after hearing reports about a boxer that has never been in the ring since 2016, and since then, this guy's already past his prime, and there's times that people are saying that he's going to make a comeback. He's going to make a comeback, and he doesn't. It's ridiculous. And if you people don't know the information right now, I might as well have to say because I guess no one else knows about this. Shannon, the Cannon Briggs, is announcing his comeback. Why? We don't know why. This guy, Shannon Briggs, two-time heavyweight champion. His last boxing fight when he was 44 years old back in May of 2016. And ever since then, he had problems. He had steroids or this or that. And then people thought he was going to make a comeback in 2018 or 2019. He was helping out with Logan Paul in his KSI fight in 2019, which didn't work out. By 2020, this or that. And then COVID came. It's like every single year, it's like nothing is going on. Shannon Briggs. Like, guys, I do like Shannon Briggs, but when it comes to his career, I do question a lot of problems. Like, ever since his first professional loss came against Darrell Wilson in 1996, a guy known for having a short career, which died quickly onto him. And even though Darrell Wilson was a guy that had a great undefeated record at the time with 15-0-2 at the time when he defeated Shannon Briggs by knockout, and you think, well, Shannon had nothing left, and of course, months later, yeah, neither is Darrell because he got his butt beat in the first round by David Tua. So yeah, no good there. But you look back at it, and then you had him defeating fights later. He defeats George Foreman. Then he loses all his energy when he lost against Lennox Lewis. And then he lost against some 9-9 dude named Shrek Fields in 2000. Had that majority draw some time ago against Francis Botha. And then had a loss against some other boxer named Jamil McCline, which did a better job than anyone else did with Briggs at the time. But and at this moment, he had everything else. Like, he was a linear weight champion. He even became an IBU World Heavyweight Champion in 2003, which made him a two-time heavyweight champion. And then he scored that unbelievable come from behind win against Cyril Lyakovich in the final second of the final round and won by knockout, which was great enough. And then he lost against Sultan Ibragimov, a Russian fighter, which did better than him, but still and then, of course, everything happened. He had this. He took some time off from 2009. And then 2010, he was dominating wins again, but lost against Vitaly Klitschko. Retired after that fight, which was a brutal fight. Jesus. Yeah, thank God he didn't take on Klitschko's other brother, but still. And then comes back in 2014, wrangles up a bunch of wins, fights a couple more fights in 2015, one fight in 2016, and that's it. Like, by 1992 to 2016, Shannon Briggs was a three-time champion, heavyweight champion, even though he might be the greatest as an IBU, lineal weight, and a WBO world heavyweight champion. He's won three world champions by 1997 to 2006 at that time. Like, that's full 9 years of him winning three champions. And even though he never defended none of the titles, you look back at it and say, well, he's not really a great champion, but yes, he is a hard hitter. But when it comes to his energy, and sometimes he doesn't have a lot to gain with in later rounds, which causes him to sometimes lose fights, and you have him announcing out that Deontay Wilder might come back this year after his brutal losses against Joseph Parker and Big Bang Zhang, it makes you wonder why would Deontay Wilder want to continue? Like, don't get me wrong. Here's the thing, guys. Like I said before, Briggs was 44 years old when he defeated his last fighter back in May of 2016. So if he decides to fight in April or May, is what the reports in the internet media say, because they did say that um, he might take the fight might take place until April or May this year with him and Deontay Wilder, former WBC champion, making him now he might be 53 years old if he does fight against Wilder, and Wilder will be Well, we already know how old Wilder is, but still, like 39 years old, but still, that's like it's almost ridiculous, like how Jake Paul, 27 years old, takes on a 58-year-old Mike Tyson. Now, don't get me wrong, like 53 years old of a Briggs versus a 39-year-old Wilder, well, it might not be much to say. It's not like how Oliver McCall guys, because Oliver McCall did come back boxing as surprisingly, because I'm sure some of you fans that know about the atomic bull of Oliver McCall did come back last um, November the 19th, 2024 to take on Joe Frazier's sibling, Stacy Frazier, which was the guy's a jobber, and even though that guy was 54 years old and Briggs was 59 years old, and Jesus, he comes back, and I heard that he's gonna box again in February the 4th, which is 1 week from now, against an unknown guy named Gary Cobia, which is going to take place in Nashville, and I can't wait to see how that fight goes on. And by the way, yes, Oliver McCall was 59 years old and becomes the oldest former heavyweight champion to win a professional boxing match at 59. And after that, he's still, it's ridiculous. And his fighter Gary Cobia, by the way, just to point this out, like his last professional fight was a loss against an unknown dude in a first round that ended his career. He was 42 years old when he lost against a guy named Jess West, which is a pretty funny name. And now the guy's gonna take on Oliver McCall at the age of 52. So technically, these guys are in their 50s. So yeah, Oliver McCall taking on one guy last year, several months ago, against a Frazier that was in his 50s, and now he takes on Gary Cobia, which he's also in his 50s. So it makes sense. We have two old guys in their 50s just boxing, kicking each other. It's ridiculous. While Deontay Wilder, yes, he's not in his prime anymore. He doesn't have what it takes. His prime in his heart isn't there anymore after his horrible losses. But yet again, 39 years old, takes on Shannon Briggs, this three-time world heavyweight champion. It's ridiculous, but yet again, if Wilder doesn't win this fight, it's going to be more dumb than it is, to be honest with, because I just find it to be more ridiculous. Like, Deontay Wilder has enough stuff to say that, you know what, let's screw it. Like, even though he already has a divorced wife that made things worse for him, like it's just bad because you don't know when to quit boxing, and that's the same thing for Alexander Usyk. Like, you keep going, depending on if your prime wasn't there a decade ago, but that's the way boxing goes. And even though I did hear someone did say report that that Alexander Usyk might fight someone this year, and someone thinks that it might be Deontay Wilder because back in 2017 and 2018, people were only talking about, and mostly in 2019, people were only talking about AJ, Tyson Fury, and Deontay Wilder being the top three heavyweights to dominate the world. And Alexander Usyk has defeated two of them. And the third one is Deontay Wilder, which at this moment I'm like, well, yeah, I guess if you take on the third person that thought was dominating the division several years ago, then why not? But yeah, again, is there money in it to be made if he does? Just like this, like, so what are the odds of this happening? Well, who knows? And by the way, the Fight Hub TV was speaking to Cannon, and they describe they had desired that he was going to face against the Bronze Bomber that was 39 years old to claim that he would battle between the heavyweight to know who would be the greatest. And at this moment, like I said before, he hasn't fought since, and Wilder has had a lot of fans leaving him thinking that after the Big Bang fight, he might not fight again, and it would appear that Wilder has confirmed that his desire would continue his career, which began back in 2008, but yet again, like, if you can't take care of a 40-year-old Chinese Bang Zhang, yet again, is it easy to take on a guy named Briggs? Like, guys, Briggs has nothing left to prove himself as champion anymore because he's past his prime. But yeah, again, just like Mike Tyson, is his health still there as we speak? Who knows? But yet again, guys, I don't think this is gonna happen. And this was reported on January the 27th as we speak. So we'll have to wait for the update as time goes on, but we'll have to wait and see because whatever's going to happen, it's going to happen, and that's all that matters. So we'll keep the update to see what will happen in the future.